your love of no edit Kalisha, and I raise you no show notes. We're getting wild, guys. We're getting wild. Hi, friends. Welcome to episode 110 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha, and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. I am coming to you from my home in Central Florida, where it is currently 9:40 at night. We're doing this again. We're doing this again with the no edit but this time we're upping the game with no show notes. So basically what that means is I have a ton of stuff sitting in front of me, and hopefully I don't forget what I wanted to share with you guys. At some point in this episode, I might have to resort to Instagram, which would be difficult because I left my phone in the other room. Yeah. So welcome. If you're a new viewer, this is not how I normally operate. Normally, I'm very organized with a nice list of show notes, and yeah, the end of the week snuck up on me, guys. I do apologize. So if you're a returning viewer, bear with your girl. Tootie's in the other room barking from underneath the bed. Kiva is somewhere sleeping because that's her jam. Admin. The Pisces season make-along is almost upon us. And I think I said last episode that I was going to start that thread over on Ravelry. I didn't. My bad. I'll get it done. But the Pisces season make-along is basically a make-along, that celebrates all things Piscean. Is it Piscean or Piscean? Comment down below. Anyway, so that means if you do a pattern that has anything to do with the Pisces astrological sign, Pisces constellation, water, marine life, anything like that, it qualifies. If you want to make anything that's in watercolors, and I will show an example because this is also on the bed right now. Had I made this during the Pisces season mal, it would have qualified. This is the Treasure Island shawl by Hannah Sigmund, who is the Cozy Cottage Crochet. Anyway, so watery colors, so blues, your greens, some purples. You know, if it says water to you, all right, go for it. Yes, so works in progress are welcome. Just like 50% or less done. Don't be that person who's like, oh, I'm going to join in this make along and sew this last button on. Don't do that. Be fair to everybody. Anywho, the dates. Pisces season runs from February 19th to March 20th. I don't know why it just took me so long to figure out what month came after February. Your girl is tired. I'm just saying. It's been a week. And there's still a day left in the week. I need the weekend to hurry up and get here. Anyway. Pisces season make along. It's upon us. I'm super excited. I don't have a plan for what I'm doing. So there's that. Yeah. So I think that's everything for admin. There were some bright spots that I saw in last week's comments. So what I'm going to do when I finish filming, there's going to be a tiny bit of editing. When I finish filming, I'll go find my phone and I'll read out some of you guys is bright spots. If you're new and don't know what a bright spot is, that is a segment of the podcast where I share comments that you all leave of positive things that have happened to you, good things, bright spots. Yeah. If you want to leave a comment of a bright spot, you can leave it down below. Most people have been writing my bright spot this week was, which I thought was very handy for me, because before it was like, let me know if this is something I can share. And then, I don't know, I feel like that maybe was a little bit weird. But bright spots, leave them down below. And was there anything else for admin? I don't think so. Yeah, no. So let's go to finished objects. I guess I'll tell you what I'm wearing aside from this delightfully quirky thrifted sweater. Let me show you my delightfully quirky thrifted sweater. So I love sweaters like this, like just straight up and down cardigans, open front ones. These are my jam. But I thrifted this and I didn't try it on in the store. Got home, threw it in the laundry. A couple days later, pulled it out to wear to work. And we've got a pocket and no pocket. But you can see where there used to be a pocket. I don't know what happened to that pocket. Whoever the previous owner was decided that they didn't need to save to keep things on their left side. So there's that. Also, I want to tell you guys about my shirt. So, I'm out of breath. I don't know what's wrong with me right now. For the last couple hours, I've been at home by myself and have been like quiet, and I just get so excited to talk to you guys. Anyway, back to my shirt. So I made this shirt probably like 8 years ago or something like that. And these are all of the stars, like the main stars that make up the constellation Orion. So there's Orion, and here are the names of the stars. So there's that. Fun fact about this shirt. My husband and I went to was it in the Wax Museum? Yeah, we went to Madame Tussauds, I think it is, or Tussauds Wax Museum. And I was wearing this shirt, and this person came up to me, one of the workers, and they were so excited about my shirt. They're like, oh my gosh, I love your shirt so much. Did you make it? And I was like, yeah. And then they started talking about Harry Potter and how much they loved Harry Potter. And I was like, why are you talking about Harry Potter? This is obviously a constellation. And then I realized that Bellatrix is also a Harry Potter character, but more importantly, Bellatrix is one of the stars in the constellation Orion. So that kind of made me laugh, because the person like didn't put together that this was a constellation. They just saw Bellatrix and was like, oh my gosh, Harry Potter. Although, when I was reading the books, I was very, very excited about how many characters in the Black family are named after stars. That just, it got me in the heart pieces, if I'm honest. But anyway, so that is this is one of my favorite shirts ever. And I stenciled the letters on just with regular acrylic paint and just letter stencils. And I love how this paint, how the letters have aged. They look super vintagey and all, you know, like crackly. So that really just makes me want to make more painted shirts. But seeing as though it takes it like 5 years to get to this point. Anywho, let's get to some finished objects. And my eyes are so tired. I think I'm starting to feel the fatigue of looking at a computer all day, I'm starting to feel the eye fatigue. But yeah, let's talk about the finished object. Now, this finished object is a throwback. So one of you lovely viewers left me a comment on one of my old videos. I don't remember what video it is, but I do know that it's over a year old. And the comment was, hey, did you ever finish that silhouette painted bag? And the answer was no. And because this person left a comment, I thought I need to find that bag and actually finish it. So that's what I did. Okay. So this is the bag. And the silhouette here is my face, or as close as I could get to taking a profile picture of myself and then painting it onto a bag. I think I got the lips wrong because I don't like look that pouty from the side, but whatever. So the idea of this bag was I wanted to have like the afro, because before I locked my hair, whenever I wore my hair out in an afro, I felt like I had a cloud on my head. And I wanted to have the word cumulus on it because cumulus is from the Latin word for pile, which is why those big puffy clouds are called cumulus clouds, because they are piles of clouds. So I have piles of hair, cumulus. Make sense? And it's actually an image that I think about a lot. I don't know if it's on Instagram, but I have a picture, like a selfie that I took when I had my afro out. Tootie, what are you doing? You okay? Guess so. I have a selfie that I took where I had my afro out, and like, I think it's backlit. It's either backlit or side lit, and the light, the sun is so beautiful, and the sky was blue. It was great. And then I put like cumulus over the picture, and I just felt so artsy and fancy. So I went ahead and finished it. I did this after a couple episodes back, when I was talking about the fear of the blank page and fear of messing something up. So the point that this was, when I first showed it in that last podcast, whatever podcast that was in the past, was it was just the black painted image. And I didn't want to mess up putting the gold paint on, because I kind of had it in my head how I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to mess it up. So after, having so many comments just saying, oh, just put a mark on the paper. If you put a mark on the paper, then you can't mess it up or anything like that. Or just let your heart go. Just be free with your art. I was thinking about a lot of those when I did this, because let me tell you, the first little scribbles I put on here, I was like, oh gosh, I've ruined it. Well, there's nothing to do but to keep scribbling. So that's what I did. There's a couple parts on here where I feel like I did too much. There's some sections that I feel like maybe I didn't do enough, but I like the way that it came out. And I used puffy paint. So it's got a little texture on it, and I kind of like it. Okay, I don't kind of like it. I really like it. I've used it a couple times so far. But yeah. That's the Cumulus bag. All done years later. So, yes. And I think that's the only finished object that I have. What's in this bag? Oh, I guess we're going into works in progress. First one up is my new Just Feel Better shawl, which is living in this bag. Sorry. Does it gross people out when you like pull your eyelashes? If it does, my apologies. This is my, I don't even know what to call it, aside from the Just Feel Better shawl that is Just Feel Better with the Textures shawl. I don't know. So in this shawl, I've got all of these different, oh, there's a hairband. Let's put that in my bag. I've got all of these different yarns going into my Just Feel Better shawl. So this one is just white with a like a metallic silver thread going through. I've got a couple balls of that. We've got regular white acrylic. We've got a fuzzy cloudy white acrylic. We've got whatever this is. It's like fun fur, and it is everywhere. I'm trying not to pay attention to it because it's kind of slippery. So even though I have it rolled into a ball, it doesn't really care about how I feel. And then we also are going to have this, which is white homespun. So this is what we have so far. And there isn't any rhyme or reason to what yarn I'm using next. I'm just kind of grabbing and going. The only thought that I'm putting into it is I don't want to have the two super fuzzy yarns or the three super fuzzy yarns together. So these three will never be side by side. They'll always be separated by one of these. Yeah. And this is what I have so far. It's quite satisfying as I'm running my hands over it right now. Each one of the yarns has a different texture. I think this is going to be really good, like fiddly crochet. So if I take it to church or have it in meetings or something like that, I'll have something to keep my hands occupied if I'm not able to like knit or something at that time. Yeah. So Just Feel Better is a pattern by me. It's a free pattern available on Ravelry, and it makes an asymmetric triangular shawl like this. This will be my fourth Just Feel Better shawl. I have two myself, one that's fingering weight, one that's DK weight. I made a third worsted weight one for a little girl at my church, and then this is my fourth one. The only thing that I feel with this one, because there is a big difference between the weight of this yarn and then the regular worsted weight acrylic, I think it's going to be wonky, but I'm just going with it. And then this fun fur is really thin, so I'm actually holding that double, which is also creating a little bit of wonkiness, but it's fine. So yeah, there is the beginnings of my shawl. I wish I could carry this with me because I can actually do granny stitch without looking at without looking at my hands. But there's no way I'm carrying all of this yarn with me to work. That's not happening. So this has been my at-home project when I'm not working on the next thing I'm going to show you guys, which, if you're a returning viewer, you can probably guess. It is my Celesterium. Celesterium is a pattern by Audrey Nicklin, and it looks like this. I don't know if I should. Okay, all the papers are folding in on themselves because I've had them in my notebook or in my project bag. So it's going to be a round shawl like this, and all those little beads are the different constellations of the northern sky. So last week I showed it to you on my big needles. I have since put it back on the short needles, so it looks like this, which it's kind of cute. I am almost finished with this current chart that I'm on. So how much difference has it been? I've probably only worked another inch. So there is the constellations, or there are the constellations so far. It's really hard to see when it's scrunched up like this. So I think what I'm going to do with this one, I'm not going to show it to you guys anymore until it's all the way done. So that is the last time that you're going to see Celisterium until it is completely finished. And then I will do the big reveal, which it shouldn't take me too much longer. Let me not say things like that because I will jinx myself and it'll end up taking me 7 years. So this will be done when it gets done. Oh, fun fact. If you follow me on Instagram, I recently showed a video on how I put beads on my knitting. And I was at a basketball game. My husband was coaching the our church youth basketball team. There we go. Get it together, Kalisha. And I was at the game, you know, knitting along, putting beads on, and I decided to film this video. So I filmed a quick little video of how I put beads on. Shortly after that, the game was over, packed up everything. I am 99% sure that I turned around and looked at my seat because I always do that whenever I'm anywhere and I'm like knitting or crocheting and I get up. I always check to make sure I didn't drop anything. And somehow I managed to lose my crochet hook and a pack of beads. And I had sat there and separated out a little vial of beads so I didn't have to carry around this whole thing. And I managed to lose both of those things. I don't know what happened. They must have like fallen into a black hole or got stolen by a basketball gremlin. Tootie, what are you barking at? And Kiva's barking because Tootie's barking. Because Tootie has the super ears. Anyway. So yeah, so then I had to go through my stash of tiny crochet hooks to find another crochet hook that fits these beads. It was a little bit annoying. But I did make a discovery, which hopefully somebody out there can help me understand why this is. So these are my two teeny tiny crochet hooks that I have in my bag to do the beads. This one says that it is a US 8 steel, which is a 1.4 millimeter hook. This one says it is a 0.85 millimeter hook. They're about the same size. I don't understand. Because, I mean, millimeters don't change. So I don't know what's going on with these, but they're basically the same size and they both fit in the beads that I'm using. So I don't, why? Somebody help me with steel sizes. Are there different, it wouldn't matter if they're different like measurement systems, like how some of crochet hooks have letters and numbers and blah blah blah. The millimeters are the same regardless of what the letter is. Whatever the millimeter is how big the hook is. I don't know what the deal is with this, but they fit in the bead, they fit inside the bead, they hook the yarn, it works, it's fine. So yeah, say goodbye to Celisterium until she is finished, and then you will see her in her full amazing glory. I was talking to another podcast viewer and saying how, oh, I just got really short, and saying how I think I'm going to do a very simple bind off on it. I don't think I want to do any lace or anything too involved. I might even do just like an I-cord binding or an I-cord bind off, I think, because I just want it to be like the sky and that's it. Like, that's it. Toot! Toot, you're going to make me have to edit. I'm trying not to. She really doesn't care about my feelings. Tootie, come here. Come here, your public wants to see you. You have fans. You have to say hello to your fans. I'm gonna get her. Oh, my foot fell asleep. Oh. Come here, Tootie. Come here. Come here, Toots Boots. Oh, you're gonna shake the camera, I know. Apologies, guys. She's shaking the camera because she's wiggling. I got a Tootie. What do you hear? Huh? What do you have to say to your fans? You don't have nothing to say now? You gonna say hello? You gonna sing them a song? Sing them the song of your people? No? Oh, did you hear something? What was that? What? What was that? Oh. Kiva. Oh, she's so ferocious. Yeah. You're whispering? You're whisper barking? Yeah. They better be happy I'm holding you back. Yeah? Can you be quiet now? Yeah. So that's everything for Celesterium. The next work in progress that I have is actually the project that I've been working on the most recently. This project is, don't pull it off the needles. Tootie, I'm using my hands. My nose is itching. This project is the Garden State hat by Chanel Wu. And I am making a modified version of it. Aside from the fact that, thanks for shaking the camera. You gonna sit? Sit. Sit down a while. Listen to the stories. Good girl. Yeah, lay on the yarn. You do that. I'm making a modified version of it because I added in stitches. I think I added like 25, like 25 to 35 stitches so that I could have more hair room. And the original design, Chanel has one panel of lace and the rest is stockinette. But I was looking at the patterns on Ravelry, or not the patterns, I was looking at the projects on Ravelry, and I noticed that somebody did the lace panels all the way around. So that's what I'm doing. And I really like it so far. I am 1.5 repeats in. So I don't even know if you're going to be able to see how it's going. But it's going to look like, well, to me, it looks like leaves, you know, like leafy vines. Is that a thing? So yeah, I'm really getting practice in with my twisted stitches. And in the ribbing, I was practicing, what is it, Norwegian purling, where you purl with the yarn in the back. So I was practicing that motion just to give my hands something different to do. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the pattern. It's very well written. Chanel has they have written instructions and charted instructions, which is really cool. Because of the modifications I made of just doing the lace all the way around, I've been just looking at the chart. And yeah, there are knit 3 togethers in this pattern, and and those have actually been kind of difficult for me to do. So, but I am really enjoying the pattern. So yeah. And I was nervous that I was going to run out of yarn. So this yarn is, I had a tag. Oh, here we go. This yarn is Barocco Artisan, which is a worsted weight, and it's 80% merino wool and 20% silk. And I got it on clearance at my local yarn shop. Now, I was nervous that I was going to run out of yarn because I bought 2 skeins of this with no plan. And when I decided to use this for the hat, I checked the yardage and I had enough, I had just enough to knit the hat. And then, I got all happy and increased all those stitches to accommodate my hair, only to realize that because I've increased the stitches, I'm going to need more yarn. So I went back over to my local yarn shop, which is Knit in Longwood. And she actually had quite a bit of this yarn left. So I was able to get 2 more skeins of the artisan yarn. And now I have 4, which I'm pretty sure is going to be too much. I'm definitely going to have at least 1 skein left over. But I was scared. So I bought 4. Or I bought 2 more. I don't know what I'm going to do with the 1 extra skein, but it's really pretty. It's just a a dip dye tonal kind of gray color. And they're even they kind of look like slubby, tweedy bits of texture in there. It's very soft. It's very squishy. I am thinking about getting a black bonnet to put inside of it, just so that the wool doesn't wreak too much havoc on my hair. Or yeah, I think I might do that. Just put a bonnet inside of it. Yeah, because I don't want it to break my strands. I'm sorry, Toot. Toot just looked at me like, why are you making so much noise? Are you back? Are you back for cuddles? Oh, you gotta sit down. So that's everything for works in progress, I think. And before I show you some stash acquisitions, I do want to give you an update on Kalisha and the Babe. So I have been lightly participating in Heather of Bunnyfish's, I said that funny. I've been lightly participating in Heather of Bunnyfish's spin along. That sentence was just weird. She's hosting a spin along called For the Love of Spinning, and it's going for the month of February. And the project that I'm working on right now is my Rainbow Riot. Oh, all right. Okay. I will be petting Tootie with my left hand because obviously I don't need both hands to show you things. But I have been spinning this. This is, what is it called? Showstopper? Yarn Bee Showstopper, I think. The label has gone missing. But I got this from Hobby Lobby. And yeah, it's basically just a roving like that. and it's acrylic and polyamide. I don't remember the percentages off the top of my head, but it's acrylic and polyamide. So I've been spinning that, and I just weighed the remaining roving and how much I have on my bobbin, and I'm about halfway through it. So what I think I'm going to do, here's my bobbin. It's coming up a lot pinker on camera. It's not that, actually, that's it. That's it right there. So this is about half of the fiber. So what I'm going to do is get another one of my bobbins and start new, or start fresh on that one, so that I can do my 2-ply just off of those bobbins. But yeah, this is what's left. I think the practice that I'm getting from spinning this is definitely going to help me when I try spinning, what was it? Superwash Merino. I blended some Superwash Merino in with something. I think it was it was the fiber that I blended during the Mr. Grinch Mal. I put Superwash Merino in it, and when I was spinning it, the Superwash Merino was very slippery compared to the rest of the fibers I was using. So this acrylic kind of feels like that because it doesn't have any grab to it. It just kind of slides past, like the fibers slide past each other. So it's really helped me with practicing controlling that. And then also because it doesn't have that much grab and it drafts so easily and so smoothly, I've been kind of practicing the motion of a long draw spin. So that's been kind of cool. So I'm definitely learning like new skills within this spin, and that's always good. But yeah, it's very pink. It's very pink. This is probably, I would say the single is probably about a fingering weight, maybe. Mostly on average is about a fingering weight. So when I do the 2-ply, I'm thinking DK to light worsted maybe, if I'm lucky. Oh, that reminds me. I did have a question for you spinners out there. So the first project that I made out of my hand spun yarn was the Fading Sky shawl by Sam Hovar, who is Sam Squeak, on here and on Instagram. And one thing that I noticed about the yarn that I had spun is that it was very heavy, like physically heavy. What can I do to create a lighter yarn? And not lighter like thinner, but just lighter. I don't even know if that makes sense or if I'm asking the right question, but I feel like the yarn that I was creating was very dense. And like if I put this shawl in water and hit somebody with it, I could probably do some damage. But yeah, the yarn just feels very heavy and very dense. So what can I do to create a yarn that is not that dense when I'm spinning myself? Yeah, so that's everything for Kalisha and the Babe. Rainbow Riot Spin. So let's talk about some stash acquisitions. So you guys already saw my artisan yarn. Tootie, get off my hat. We already know it's going to end up with lots of dog hair in it because dog hair is like glitter. I have one stash acquisition. Is that true? Yes. Yes. I have one stash acquisition that I want to share with you guys. And it is actually some yarn that Lamar, my husband, bought for me. So the other day I was at home minding my own business and Lamar sent me a text message. He was in this store called Ollie's. And if you don't know what Ollie's is, it's kind of like one of those closeout stores that just gets like stuff that's gone on clearance in other stores kind of type deal, and then they sell it for cheap. So Lamar was in an Ollie's and he saw a big box of yarn, and I feel like saying big box of yarn is an understatement. It was like a giant crate of yarn. And so he took pictures of it and sent it to me and was like, hey, do you want any of this? They're all $1.99. So I picked out two. Stop! Oh, I wish you guys could see the sad puppy face she's giving me. She's holding on to my arm with one paw and looking at me like this. Like, I wish I could open my eyes as big as hers were. They were like anime eyes big. Tootie does the sad puppy face very well. Mommy, I just want the cuddles. You're not cuddling me. I don't have to take this. I'm going to sit over here. She looks over her shoulder at me. I just wish somebody loved me. I love you, Tootie. She looked back at me like, you do? Oh, my widow pumpkin. Anyway, I got this. Now this yarn is bright as all get out. It's neon orange, Hometown USA. And my initial thought was like, I need an orange hat. I do not need a traffic cone orange hat. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this. Actually, this what you're seeing is not right. That's closer. Yeah. But it is bright. It is bright. But I really like it. It makes me smile. Maybe I'll do like, I don't even know. But this is what I got. I got this one, and then I also got this one. You guys can see I was feeling that orange color because it's in this too. This is Bernat Pop. It is a worsted weight, 100% acrylic. It is 280 yards. And then this one, it's like bulky, super bulky. 64 yards in this one. So yeah. I told my mom, I was talking to my mom when he sent me the messages, and I was like, oh, Mommy, Lamar loves me. And she was like, yeah. I said, yeah, he sent me a text message. It was so sweet. She said, what did it say? I said, it was a picture of some yarn in the store that he's in that's on sale. He speaks my language, guys. He speaks my language. So, yeah. That's all I have for stash positions. And that's really all I have for the crafty stuff. Earlier today, I was cutting out bags for my Etsy shop. I do have an Etsy shop. It is the Quirky Monday Crafts Etsy shop. There's always a link in the down bar. I don't think there's anything in there right now, but I will be putting up, how many bags did I cut today? 21. I cut 21 bags, and this time I'm doing a mix of my small size, which, of course, I don't have any bags near me. I'm good. My small and my medium size. So let me show you real quick without getting Tootie to lay on them. So for Black History Month, which if somehow you didn't know, February is Black History Month here in the US, I am putting out a set of bags that are all made of African Ankara print fabric. So, okay, Tootie, I'm using my hands. You know, I'm using them. Thank you. Oh, I'm still using them. Stop looking at me. No. She is the most. So these are some of the fabrics that are going in as the small bags. What's the easiest way to show you guys? So I've got this orange. It's like this. This green with the hearts, and this is the size of the small bag. They will be zipper topped and have removable handles, like I like to do. Box bottom. Yeah. I've got a couple in this fabric in the small size. We've got one in that. One thing that I really like doing when I'm doing the bags for my shop, I love creating one-of-a-kind bags. So it is very rare that that I do repeatable bags. So each bag is different, especially when you have things like this Ankara fabric. While they're cut from the same cloth, they are sisters and not twins. So those are all of the ones that are the small bags. And then this is the size of my medium bag. So I'll hold them up together so that you can see. So that's the size difference of the small to the medium. So I got a couple with the purple fabric, purple and green, and I guess that's tan or cream, I can't really tell in this light. I have this one, which this fabric, it was originally like a panel, and I played around a lot with trying to figure out how I wanted to cut these. But these two are actually identical. Is it this way? No. How are they laying? This way. So this is what the original panel looked like. Wait, that's not right.
I'm so confused right now. Oh, no, here it is. No. No. I promise, guys, I know how to do puzzles. There we go. I figured it out.
This one came from a panel that was meant to be like one of the dashiki shirts. But, yeah. And then we've got some more of this one. We've got this, which is a basket of bread. And this fabric I actually found at my Goodwill. Someone had made a shirt out of it, like a really big shirt. And the fabric was cut and sewn this way. And when I looked at it, my brain did not register that these were baskets of bread until I laid out the fabric at home and started cutting it. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. So we've got blue baskets of bread and a green basket of bread. And then we've got the orange fabric and the pink and yellow. So those are all of the bags that I'm going to be working on to get up in the shop. I don't have a specific date that they're going up, but what I do every time is I take their pictures to get for the listings, and then I share the pictures on Instagram. So if you're interested in any of these bags, definitely follow me on Instagram, and I'll upload the pictures before they go live. So like the day before, I upload the pictures like 1 or 2 days before. It depends on when I have time to take the pictures. I'll upload them to Instagram so that you guys can see them. And then the day that they go live, I put up a story on Instagram, and I also do another post just to let you guys know that the listings are available. So yeah, those are all of my Black History Month bags celebrating Z culture. And I think that's everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Yeah. Has anything interesting happened on the life front? Not really. Someone is definitely coming home, I guess. Yep. I was right. Lamar just got home, so Kiva and Toot are happily running around his feet. Yeah. And I grabbed my phone from the other room when I went out to greet him. And as soon as I picked it up and looked at it, it died. So I have it plugged in, and hopefully it'll charge up enough for me to be able to share some bright spots with you guys. If not, then next week I will share bright spots from last week and this week. So spots will be shared. In the meantime, I decided to knit a bit. Before Lamar came in, I was thinking, trying to think if anything interesting happened on the life front. And yes, I got a flat tire the other day. It was quite the experience. Now, I know how to change a tire. It's actually quite amusing to watch me change a tire because I'm little. I don't weigh a whole lot. I have been gaining weight though, so I'm super excited about that. But anyway, so basically, whenever I have to change a tire, I can never get the lug nuts off, like with just my arm muscles. I always have to like put the little tool on the lug nut and then stand on it and bounce to get it, to loosen off. So, yeah. So, what was it? Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, I think it was was it yesterday was Wednesday. Today's Thursday. Was it yesterday? I can't even remember. Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't know. I don't know when it was. But I got in the car. I sat in the car knitting for a little bit. And actually, I'm going to put a clip at the end of this video of me sitting in the car knitting and talking about this project. But I started to drive away and I heard the sound of the flat tire. Got out and looked at it and was just like, oh, okay, this is what we're up to. This is what we're doing. Okay. So I backed the car back into the space that it was in and started to get all the stuff out to change the tire. But then one of the gentlemen that works at the school that I work at came by and he was like, oh, do you need any help? And I was like, no, I got it. I can change the tire. It's fine. And he was like, no, I'm going to do it. So, and this guy, he's probably like the age of my dad. So I was like, okay, have at it. So he ends up recruiting like 2 other guys to come and change the tire with him. And it was just kind of a whole community event getting this tire changed. And he's like giving the guys, because they're kind of younger, college age because I work at a university, but still kind of like we haven't changed a bunch of tires in our lives age. But he was giving them tips and and lessons on how to get the lug nuts off and how far to jack the car up and all this and all that. And I was just kind of like, I can totally do this, guys. And they were just like, okay, go ahead. It's fine. So we finally get the tire, they finally get the tire changed. And then the guys left, and it was just me and the older gentleman. And I told him, I was like, I can finish. I can put the lug nuts on. It's fine, because he drives one of the shuttles at the university. So he was like, all right, so I'm gonna go and do another pickup and drop off. Let me know if you need anything else. I was like, all right. So I go ahead and finish putting the lug nuts on and everything, and let the car down off of the jack, and he's gone. I let the car all the way down, and lo and behold, the spare tire is also flat. So then I was just like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. I called Lamar, and he was still about like 30-45 minutes away, because all of this happened during like rush hour traffic. So even if Lamar had left the school immediately, he still would have been stuck in traffic trying to get to me. So the older gentleman who drives the shuttle came back through the parking lot with his next group of people to drop off, and he was like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I was like, the spare is flat. So because I'm new there, I didn't know that security would help you with flat tires and things. The last place that I worked at that had kind of security like that was a call center, and they certainly did not help with flat tires. Like, you were on your own. So I didn't even think about calling security. But when he saw that the spare was flat, he suggested that we call security and have them come bring one of the air pumps and pump the tire up so that I could get somewhere to get it fixed. But luckily I didn't have to do all of that, because another person who was riding the shuttle that evening had a pump in his car. So he went and got that. We pumped up the spare tire. It gave me enough air to get to the tire place so that they could fix it. And now I have 4 working tires on my car once again. It was a nice kind of community experience, like knowing that there's people at the place that I work that care enough to stay and make sure that, their coworker is taken care of, to make sure that, I'm not just stranded. And I really appreciate being in a space like that. But that's the only, I guess, thing that has happened that I can think of. And we're at 14%. Let's see if we can get this turned on and share some bright spots with you guys. I can tell you guys one of Lamar's bright spots. He found a new donut place, and Lamar loves donuts, like for real. So much so that when we got married, his groom's cake was a pile of Krispy Kreme glazed donuts with little statues of Kiva and Toot on top of it. One of my aunts is like really artsy, and she sculpted a Kiva and a Toot like miniature, and we put them on top of his groom's cake, and he loved it. Yeah, so him finding a new donut place is definitely a highlight. But anyway, so this donut place makes huge donuts. And when I say huge, I mean like the size of my face. Let me show you a picture. This is the donut compared to my head. There, now you can actually see it. That makes my head look really tiny, but only because the donut is so big. I only ate one bite of that donut. I can't handle anymore. But yeah, so that was Lamar's bright spot. And let's find you guys's. All right, so I found 3 bright spots from last episode. The first one comes from Kim. And she said, my bright spot is your shawl pattern has helped me find peace. It's something I've been needing. It's something I've been needing. And she was making my Just Feel Better shawl. So the same one as my white fluffy one. And I love it when people are making specifically the Just Feel Better shawl, because that was the reason that I made it, because I was feeling crappy and, like feeling down or dealing with a lot of anxiety or any of those negative like emotions, and just the repetition of that pattern, the granny stitch just like calmed me down. So it makes me feel so good when someone else can have that same experience with the shawl pattern. So thank you so much, Kim, for sharing that with me. I hope that your stress and anxiety is getting a little better, because both stress and anxiety can go kick rocks and leave us both alone. The next bright spot is from, I think it's Tara. It's Tera, so I'm guessing Tara. And it says, my bright spot this week was last week we had our first big snowfall of this winter, and getting to see all the excitement and wonder in my 2.5-year-old granddaughter's eyes as Pawpaw showed her how to make a snow angel for the first time. I forget that this is winter time for people who do not live in Florida. I miss the snow, and snow angels are so cool. They really are. The closest that I think we can get to snow angels down here is if we probably could do that at the beach, but I feel like that'd be a terrible idea and the sand would never come out of your hair. But I hope you're enjoying the snow. And our last bright spot for this episode is from Kathy. And it says, my bright spot this week was taking 2 of my elderly residents out. Taking 2 of my elderly residents out. I work in a nursing home for the elderly, to meet up with 2 former staff members. The joy on those ladies' faces absolutely made my week, and we all had a terrific time drinking tea/coffee, eating scones, pinching marshmallows, and laughing. That sounds really cool. Really nice. I love it when people are able to like reconnect with, people that they used to interact with. Reconnecting is always good. But I do have a question about this pinching marshmallows business. Did you eat the marshmallows, or did you just squish them? Because you guys know those little marshmallow peeps that come out around Easter time? They're like these little marshmallow candies that look like, I guess they're supposed to be little chickens, and they come in like a little box, and there's plastic over the top so you can see like what color peeps you're getting. Ever since I was little, I always poke their heads. Like, of course not poking through the plastic, but I just kind of boop, squish their little heads. And I feel like I have to do it. Whenever I see peeps in the store, I physically cannot walk by without poking the peeps in the head. Was it that kind of situation with the marshmallow pinching? I feel like I'm always sharing some random Kalisha fact with you guys. Does anyone else poke the heads of peeps? I need to know this. I need to know that I'm not alone in that boat. I probably am. Just by myself in this boat, rowing around, poking the heads of peeps. Boop. Boop. Row, row, row. Is this how you row a boat? I don't know. So anyway, guys, that is everything. I hope I'm going to do a tiny bit of editing on this episode, like a really little tiny bit, because now it's an hour later, and I'm sleepy. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you would like to share a bright spot, I definitely encourage you to leave a comment down below of something positive that happened to you so that we can all read it and we can all share in that positivity that happened. Because sharing good things just doubles your good things, right? I hope you guys have a wonderful week and had a wonderful week. Oh, my birthday is coming up and I'm really excited about it. Yay! But anyway, thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. Thank you for being a part of my universe. And I hope that this episode wasn't too crazy with me not having show notes. I definitely don't want to do this again. No. Next episode, there will definitely be show notes. Most definitely. I might even write them now for next time. But yes. Y'all have a wonderful time. Bye. Hi, friends. So I am sitting in the parking lot at my job, and the day is over, and I just needed to take a moment. So today I had a bit of anxiety, and it was just like that lingering anxiety that just hangs out with you. And yeah, it wasn't even because I was anxious about something that was happening today. I was really just pre-gaming a meeting that I'm going to be in tomorrow. Don't you love that? But the reason I wanted to make this little clip is because I started working on this project. And this is my Garden State hat by Chanel Wu. And this is one of my projects for my Make 9, or my 9 Little Words Make 9. And the word that I have attached to this project is growth. And y'all, I've been sitting here just thinking about that. Like thinking about how even though I experience different levels of anxiety, and it's things that I have to process through and things that I have to grow through, whenever I have days like this that are just kind of dripping with anxiety, it's not a failure. It's not, it doesn't mean that I'm not growing. You know what I mean? I just kind of wanted to turn this on and just chat for a little bit. I don't know if I'm putting this in the podcast or if I'm gonna upload this separately, but I just was thinking about that. I was thinking about, you know, how cool it is, one, to be able to tell yourself that when you pick up this particular project, the idea or the word that you want to think about is growth. And then whenever you do pick it up, you are reminded that that is something that you want to do. You always want to be growing. You always want to be learning. And funny enough, one of the things that caused me a great deal of anxiety today, to the point where I definitely cried, was this kind of training session I was sitting in. Or not sitting in. That sounds like I wasn't supposed to be there. No, it was a training session for me. But it was a training session to learn how to do these evaluations. And basically what an evaluation is, it's like the end of the course survey. So whenever you take a class, you know how at the end of the class, the teacher always like gives you a survey, like, you know, how was my teaching? Did you learn in my class? What are your opinions? Blah, blah, blah. So part of my job is going to be to send out those like surveys and questionnaires. And so I had to learn how to set them up and everything like that. And it was one of those processes where the language surrounding it was completely foreign to me. Not completely foreign. Like, I understood the words, you know. I understand what a survey is. I understand what a project is. I understand what an evaluation is. But the way that it was used, you know, was foreign to me. So I'm having to like link together ideas that don't normally go together in my head. So, and then try to figure out a way to make it make sense to me. And the girl who was going over it, I asked her how long she'd been doing it, and she said she'd been doing it for about 2 years now. And so she's like fluent in the language of eval kit. and you could definitely see that as she was talking and explaining it to me and stuff like that. Like, I was following along, but I definitely hit that point where you're just like, okay, I can't take in any more information, but I had to, because this was the time that they were going to be sitting with me, and that's it. If I have questions, I can email them, whatever like that, but this is our face-to-face time. I'm pretty sure I glazed over pretty soon, and I was just like, she goes, you look really tired. I was like, no, it's just a lot of information, but just keep going because I know I need to get this. And yeah. And it was definitely one of those times where at the end people are like, you know, like the trainer is like, do you have any questions for me? No, I cannot formulate a question right now anyway. So there's that. So yeah. Growth. Growth means taking on uncomfortable new things and learning to live with them, learning to exist in that space, and then eventually learning to flourish in that space. So yeah. That's it, guys.